Hey guys, welcome to Under Construction with Jerry Keenan, the Alliance for Actions podcast. This is where you can hear directly from the decision makers building a better future in New Jersey. Be sure to subscribe on your preferred platform so you never miss an episode. Now, here's Under Construction with Jerry Keenan.
And hello, I'm Jerry Keenan, the president of the New Jersey Alliance for Action, and welcome to another installment of Under Construction with Jerry Keenan. I have a very special guest here today, my good friend Joe Demark. Joe is also the first vice chair of the Alliance for Action Board of Directors, and Joe is also the business manager and president of the Sheet Metal Workers, Local 25. Joe, great seeing you, man. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
So, just so, you and I have been around a long time, we know each other, but just so everyone out there, we literally have millions and millions of people watching us right now, Joe. So tell those millions and millions.
I totally believe that.
Tell those people, what is exactly a sheet metal worker does?
Great question. So branding. So a sheet metal, we take something from flat metal, we fabricate it. We do a lot of HVAC, ductwork. We do architectural, copper roofing, gutters, leaders, kitchen equipment. We do medical tables. We do clean rooms. We do a lot with metal. So we fabricate, we draft, and we install metal.
So when we're driving through the towns and we see the schools going up, the colleges being fixed, hospitals, that's all you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when do your people go into a building? Are they one of the first ones there, one of the last ones there?
No, well, we get there after the seals, after the steel is set and the concrete floors are poured, we get right in there. Our guys go and put hangers up, they install the hangers, ready to hang the ductwork, they run the risers, so we get there pretty early. And we're probably one of the latter ones to leave because the diffusers, when they set the ceilings and everything. So we're there for most of the time doing that job.
Now, when you're out as business manager, your biggest job is to put dinner on the tables of your members.
Absolutely.
And I know that's a very, very difficult thing to do, sometimes more difficult than other times. A lot of pressure. I got to believe you're on call all the time. And if there's an issue that needs to be addressed at 2 o'clock in the morning, your phone is ringing.
I leave my phone on 24/7. If, I get calls at night up to 11:30 at night, and that, sometimes it's aggravating, but, you have to be on call. That's part of the job. Like you said, my job is to put food on people's tables, families.
It's an awesome responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, we want to keep them working so they could provide a great wage, health coverage, building their pension into the future. That's what it's about. We have to service our members and put them to work.
What do you have, about 700 members currently working?
Well, a little less than that, yeah. Between active and retirees, we have total about 800.
I'm glad you brought that up. You mentioned the retirees. And one thing I've noticed is you are always talking about your retirees, and you take care of them. And I've been out with you with some of your retirees. We've golfed. You bring your retirees. When I go to your golf outing, you have your retirees there. And those people are very important to you. I can tell.
Absolutely. So when I first started in the trade back in 1980, these guys, we learned off these guys. They gave us what we have today. And I really, when I say I love them, I really do. I know their family, I know their wives, their children, their grandchildren, and if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have what we have today. And, I stay active with them. I go to the retiree meetings, I invite them when we have conferences in Atlantic City, sometimes when we golf. I really care for them because they paved the way for us. They're important.
It's pretty remarkable, and it's a wonderful thing to see for me when I see the way you still interact, and you don't forget. And these people have counted on you for many years, and in many ways, they're still counting on you, which is terrific. I also mentioned, it really caught me the way you were just talking about how the retirees are so important to you. But I can tell also the people that are working for you now, because we went through one of your job sites once, and I was amazed that every 5 feet you were stopping off and talking. Hey Joe, hey, how one of your members. Hey Joe, how are you? Are things okay? Everything okay with the family? Hey Jill, how's everything? Hey, how's your daughter doing? I picked up on that. I saw that. It was pretty remarkable. How did you begin to care so much?
Well, for this job, you have to care. And I do. I love to engage with the members. You don't see them often, and when you do, it's just natural. You just want to make sure everything's all right, talk to them.
It really is remarkable. How did you decide that you want to be a sheet metal worker?
That's a good question. Well, originally, I wanted to sign up for a college, and I didn't. I did, but I didn't follow through with it. 18, young, and thought that I had all the answers. And I remember my dad approaching me, "What's your plan? What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I signed up for college. Let me see your schedule." And I didn't follow through. So he said, "You're either going to school or getting into the trade." Here I am in the trade. In the beginning, that was pretty rough. He said, "The party's over." We know the story.
Yes.
And he was right. I mean, responsibility, bang, comes, and here you are in the middle of it. And I didn't like what I was doing. He said, "Go to school." So I went to school part-time. I continued that. And I worked. And you know what? After a certain period of time, I really liked what I was doing. I got, it grows on you. And I thought, let me make the best of this. And I'll tell you, thank God for this trade. I love the trade. I remember when I was younger, you read the Star Ledger, Newark Star Ledger was the big paper then. And I used to read the comics, the sports. We talked about this. Sid Dorfman, school picks, Sid Dorfman on the green. And by the way, I'm good friends with the Dorfman family. He was incredible, Sid Dorfman. So,
award-winning writer for the Star Ledger, yes.
Oh, yeah. And when I was, I guess, 8th grade, my father taught me how to read the stock, the markets, the blue chips, everything. You don't do that anymore in the papers. But at that time, you learn to try to budget money, try to save for the future. And you did it, and you saved, you invested, and I'll tell you, 45 years later, I don't think I'd have the discipline to continue to do that day in and day out, week in and week out. And thank God for the trades, because they provide you with the pension, with the secondary pension self-directed funds, which we call an annuity. We have, these programs are set up. We have a health fund, we have a vacation fund. And if I wasn't disciplined and structured, I wouldn't, these trades bring you this automatically. You don't have to rely on that. And, at times you run out of money and you're not disciplined and structured. You need that money. But with the trades, it's there. These programs are there for you. Yeah. And it's there for your family. So thank God for the trades. I mean, in a few years I'll be retired. We'll have something to look forward to. And it's a great retirement.
It's an amazing story. Through the Alliance for Action, obviously I became very good friends with you, and I have other friends in other trades, and they all have that same feeling, that loyalty, that thankfulness for what the trades have been able to do for them.
Right. And their families.
It's incredible for their families.
It's a great fraternal organization. Not only just men, women. It's great. It's a family outside of our family. We try and look out for each other, take care of each other. It's just an incredible thing,
Yeah, it really is. You mentioned your dad, and we've spoken a lot about him, and I get the feeling that he was a no-nonsense guy. But at the same time, I can tell, you bring him up so much, he made you what you are today.
Oh, yeah. I owe a lot to my dad, my mom too, but my dad laid the foundation. He was firm, as fathers are, growing up in our time.
Yeah.
You listen to what they said, and if you didn't, there was a price to pay. But, you learn off mistakes, and I really think, thank God for my dad and the opportunities I had, and, I had a great upbringing, and I really appreciate that.
One of the great things about the trades, and you mentioned it, but I want to talk more about it, it was many years before I realized, look, I went to college. My parents paid for college. And went to college and I did my thing and they paid for it. And then I got out of college and started looking for work. The amazing thing that I realized eventually, and it's with all the trades I eventually found out, you go into a trade, you get educated, and at the same time, you're getting paid, which is terrific. So you're first out of college, first out of high school, you don't go to college, first out of high school, you got a real job and you're making real money right off the boot, and you're getting trained for a future forever.
Absolutely. As we say, we earn while we learn. So our apprentices go to school during the day, 8 hours a day for a week at a time, 4 times a year, and it's great learning. When I went to apprentice school, it was 3 hours a night, 2 nights a week, after work from 6 to 9, and that was a little rough coming in from a cold job, and then we would go down to Newark on West Essex Vocational Tech. Today we have it in our training centers. I mean, things really morphed into great programs for the apprentices. So yeah, you earn while you learn, and it's a fantastic program, the apprentice program. You learn 4 years of skilled trade, and by the time the 4 years are up, you're out there earning great money. Endless possibilities.
Well, look at you. You didn't want to, at first, you didn't want to do it.
No.
And then you got in. And if I remember right, besides going to the technical school, you went to a college as well as part of your sheet metal growth.
So, before I figured, what do I want to do? And I wanted to get into politics. My dad kind of said, no, you don't. You learn the skilled trade and go with that. But I stuck to my guns, and I wanted to get into local union politics. And one of my dad's friends, Dan Pascanucci, an international rep, God bless him, he said, why don't you go to school, for labor relations? And I said, all right. He gave me information, Cornell. So I went to Cornell over in New York a couple days a week. Then a couple summers I took off, went to up in Ithaca, Cornell, and took labor relation courses. And that's projected my path in local union politics. And it's great. It's a great education.
Yeah. See, you don't think I listen to you, but when you're telling me about this, we're out golfing or having lunch or hanging out with our wives, you're talking, I'm listening.
You are. You're very detailed oriented. Now, by the way, I have to say, you have a phenomenal green room. Jimmy Fallon doesn't have a green room as good as yours. You pay attention to detail. Celery juice with the splash of Grey Goose, I love it.
That's terrific. That brings me up because I really appreciate, you're always my biggest fan with my jokes, too. So let's talk a little bit about
Let's not get carried away, Jerry.
Talk a little bit about Joe, yourself, on the personal Joe. And when we first met years and years ago, I believe your daughter was just a kid, maybe 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And the growth, and I know because my son is about the same age as your daughter, mm-hmm. and you see their growth, and you think about, you talked about your dad, no-nonsense guy, tough, but he did the right thing, and he could put you on the right path. And now you look and you see you're raising your daughter, and you're having to do some of the same things that you got angry at your dad for when you were growing up, but you know it's right.
Oh yeah, it's an amazing challenge, raising children and trying to do the right thing. There's no handbook on how to do it, and I didn't want to be as tough and firm on my daughter as my dad was to me. However, I think principled, he was right. So you learn to bob and weave raising your children.
Yeah.
It's great.
Another family thing, but it brings you back to the trades. You really are a trades family. You married a tradeswoman.
Yeah, 3rd generation. My 2 uncles, my dad. I'm proud of being 3rd generation.
That's terrific.
And yeah, I'm married to Erin, who is in a union. She's a political director for her union. It's great.
Yeah, that's terrific. That's terrific. Let's talk a little more. I know. I do marvel at you every once in a while. You show me a picture of you have your own special Yankees cave at your house.
My Yankee room, yeah.
Your Yankee room. Now tell us what's in that room.
Oh, I painted it blue, Yankee blue. It's my own sanctuary in the house, and it's in the back room by the outside deck, and I have memorabilia, pictures, bobbleheads. Last time we went to a game, we had a bobblehead.
Yes.
A lot of Yankee memorabilia. So that's where I watch the games, and that's.
What do you do besides golf when you're on your own and you're looking to enjoy yourself? What do you do with your friends? What do you do with your wife? What's Joe?
Well, as you know, I live down the shore, so we have. I do my walking every morning, and then on the weekends we have a little beach crew, beach club. Great group of people. We go for walks on the boardwalk, the beach. I walk in the bay. We go out to dinner on Tuesday nights with the beach crew. I really want to get into pickleball. That's my next endeavor.
My daughter, my wife does that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
My wife, she
Wow.
loves it. Yes.
And I just, I'm trying to get back into shape so I could get back into surfing. My daughter loves surfing, and I, want to get together with my daughter and surf. We do a lot. My daughter and I go to a lot of Yankee games together. I do as much as I can with my daughter.
That's terrific.
And my wife, we do a lot of things together.
So I did want to talk about the surfing. When did you start to surf? You did in high school, right?
Before that, maybe 10 years old, 8 years old. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you go just on the Jersey Shore, or have you gone other places?
Mostly a Jersey Shore, but I just got back from Hawaii, so I surfed out in Hawaii
did?
after a few years. Oh, yeah, I took a header off the board the first wave, got a cramp in my leg, did a cartwheel. I'm like, oh, God. And then when I got up from the water, I got hit in the ribs with the surfboard. I thought I broke my ribs.
Oh, no. Wow.
It was quite an experience, but I'm getting back into it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your daughter surfs, I know,
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
She was a surf instructor. She surfs. She travels. She just got back from Australia, so yeah.
I was going to ask you about
Yeah.
that. What was, now I'm not a surfer, but when I was speaking with your daughter, she was saying Australia is like the real deal.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So how big are those waves?
Oh, out there, they have their waves are a lot bigger than Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
So different experience, different type of sandbars, and it's great.
Growing up, we used to watch, I know, Wide World of Sports on ABC, and they would have the surfing from Hawaii, and those
to love that.
were as
Pipeline.
big as the building.
Oh yeah. The
You know,
pipeline.
have you ever been on anything like that? I mean,
No, I've seen it, but I would never. I'm not that crazy.
yeah. Wow. I
So
mean,
you have to be really seasoned to be
Yeah.
riding those waves.
yeah. Let's get back to the sheet metal, Joe. Again, your job is to make sure people are working. How do you do that?
It's getting tougher. It's getting challenging these days, and legislation on public work. We've in this state in the past 20 years, legislation. We've worked hard. The building trades, AFL-CIO, to fighting for legislation for project labor agreements, for a lot of things on public works. So we're always there politically. We're always fighting the fight, and it forced us to be more competitive. I mean, we have 4 different rates now, building trades rate and other rates, to be competitive in that market share. But our job is to get work for our members. That's it. That's a lot more to it, but
Yeah.
that's the meat and potatoes.
And how many people do you have in your office and making sure everything is working smoothly?
Well, we scaled back, so let me see. 3, we probably have about 10 or 11 people in the
Okay.
office. Besides and then we have our agents.
Well, that's who I was talking about.
Altogether, probably about 15, 16 people.
But the agents are your people that are working in the streets every day.
Out in the field,
Yeah, and making sure things are happening.
Absolutely. And you know what? Without the staff that I have, without the agents and the organizer, we're a team. So without the team, without the teamwork, it doesn't happen. So, and I always tell them, never forget we service the members. But I have a great team, and having a great team, as you know, you have an excellent team.
Yes.
Your staff is great. That's what makes you successful. That's what makes your mission accomplishable. So.
What do you see as some of the big areas of growth for not only sheet metal workers, but all of New Jersey.
You know, so technology changed everything. And, you know, I remember when I first got on the trade, we had a ton of layout men in the shop. And that changed with technology, with plasma cutters and all the technology. But you figure it out. We have people who learned to program the plasma cutters. AI's coming. It's here. So a lot of scaling back with the technology, but there's other areas where you could advance and get into. We're getting into more drafting now. We're getting into national energy maintenance, NEMI part, where it's indoor air quality. We have a lot of things that we morph into. So that comes with, you know, changing. Times change. You have to change with the times. And I think if you stay in a solution, you could figure it out to keep on creating jobs. That's always going to happen.
So you're creating jobs and you're dealing with AI. When you become an apprentice, you're learning the trade. But I gotta believe, how often do your people continue training? Because the technology, as you said, is changing all the time. You have to have all your people up to snuff on the technology.
Constantly. I mean, we have an algorithm with our joint apprentice training centers and our international training institute, who are on the cusp of changes in technology and advanced technology, and it's constant. And you have to, our apprentice coordinators and our teachers constantly go to school to follow these changes and where they're going. And with our International Training Institute, they're on that cusp too. So we work great together, and it trickles down to the apprentices. You know, we're always on that cusp.
But what about the person who's been there 15 years and has to deal with it?
It's a little tougher.
Yeah.
A little tougher with the senior members. Listen, if you don't evolve, it's evolve or evaporate. That's what it is. And sometimes they're a little stubborn and set in their ways, but they do. We have night courses for them to enhance their skills, and we always encourage that, and majority do. Yeah.
Tell me about the relationship between the sheet metal workers union and the contractors that you work for. You know, in the old days, I always thought contractors union, boom, 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 fighting, but that's not true anymore.
Well, it is and it isn't. We're family. So without them, we have a slogan, a lot of slogans, but together we do it better. We have our Sheet Metal Contractors Association. Every trade has a contractor association. And, you know, sometimes we don't always agree, a lot of times. We agree to disagree, and it's like it's like a family. There's dysfunctions, but you work through them. But together we do it better. You have to cooperate. And we're getting back on track. I was just on the phone with my SMACNA person this morning trying to resolve issues. And you have to work with each other. It's what's best for the industry, and we do.
Well, it goes back to when the first time you and I sat down for lunch, and I was explaining to the Alliance, you know, when they created the Alliance back in those days, you had unemployment was sky high and inflation was sky high and nothing was being done. In fact, a bunch of contractors and labor guys got together and said, we're dying out here. The halls are filled with people. A lot of the contractors are going out of business. We need to work together, kind of check our guns at the door and work together to make sure there's work out there for us to fight about.
Absolutely. So it's not just the trades. It's I remember when you first approached me about joining the Alliance for Action years ago. And, I wasn't familiar with it. I was in my own little thought process, and you tried to meet with me a few times. Finally, we met. We sat down, and I listened to you, and I said, give it a shot. And I joined up, and ever since then, I mean, I'm on a lot of different boards. Yours, one of them, being one of the better boards, honestly. They're all good. I'm on the Bottle House Labor Board. I'm on different boards, but this is a great board because you push for work. You see what it is out there. You promote work. We were just on this tunnel project together. That was incredible. And what the Alliance for Action does out there for the trades and for everyone to generate work in this state is second to none. I really mean that. And, and then when you asked me to get involved and get on the board, that was a great accomplishment. I mean, a great feeling for me to be a part of what you guys do every day. And
Well, thank you. I couldn't have been more happy to be working with you, Joe. One thing you do learn real quick, you learn who you can count on, who you can trust, who you can work with, and that's always been you right from day one. Even right from day one, I remember learning about your family the first time we got together at that restaurant, and
I has learned of your family.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
We became friends through
For
this.
sure, yeah,
absolutely.
and that's really it is. And that doesn't necessarily mean you and I are going to agree on everything,
Right.
but if we don't agree, we talk it out, we work it out, we figure out what we got to do, and we move on.
As in life, yes.
That's life.
Yeah.
That's life. I do that with my brother.
Yeah.
He's a big hassle, but but
I
no.
want to hear his version.
But no, that is great. It's great stuff. If you could look back, and I asked this to one other person, if you could look back at the 17, 18-year-old Joe and tell him what you did right or what you think he should do instead, what would you say?
You have to get out there and make your way, but you learn from your mistakes. It's all right to make mistakes. The number one thing is exercising good judgment,
Mm-hmm.
and I try and tell my daughter that. And by the way, I have a son too. I'm very proud of Jack. You try to teach them judgment and get out there and make your path. And it's all right to make mistakes, but don't make them again and again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have.
Words to live by, man. Hey, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you,
Always a
Joe.
pleasure, Joe.
Absolutely.
Joe Demark, the business manager and president of Sheet Metal Workers Local 25, and I also did not mention, he's also president of the New Jersey State Association of Sheet Metal Workers. Joe, I'm so glad to have you here, so glad to have you as a friend, proud to have you on our board of directors. Thank you so much for being here and watching Under Construction with Jerry Keenan, with our special guest, Joe Demark. We're looking forward to seeing you in the future. Do me a favor. If you like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up, tag us. If you're at one of our meetings and you're taking pictures, tag the Alliance for Action. Use our hashtag. Our tag, our handle is NJ Alliance for Action. Our hashtag is Building a Better Future, and that's really what we're all about here. We're trying to build a better future for New Jersey, for your family, and try to make your family have a better life than maybe you did in the past.
I want to wrap this up with
Yeah.
you together. At the end of your wrap-ups, when you do your things, I like when you do that.
Is that right? Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you next time.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thanks for tuning in. Under Construction with Jerry Keenan is a production of the New Jersey Alliance for Action. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss an episode, and be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. To learn more about membership and events, go to alliancefораction.com. Together, we're building a better future. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
You do that a lot. You go, hey.
Now, that is funny because now you say that I recognize I do that, but I don't even know I'm doing it.
It's natural.